Thank you. Thank you thank you to Chris and also to the PSE team for inviting us here to this event and for giving us the opportunity to share with you a couple of insights, a couple of details of how this industry, our industry, travel industry, is, as the title says, is digesting things or regulations of payments, is digesting PSD2, and how this travel industry is absorbing the impact, the different impacts of this regulation. So when I was preparing this presentation, it's very challenging for me because I'm used to be in this side of the room. For me, speak about payments to travel people is easy, but to speak about travel to payments people is not that easy. So I will try to speak in the name of the industry and try to give you insights and try to give you details, real cases about what we do every day, about the problems that we face every day. But first of all, I think it's interesting to start giving you a wide image or paint about our industry, because I think with clear concepts you can understand better how these topics, regulations, and also the things you know very well impacts in this industry. Of course, the travel industry is global. You cannot think in an airline that it's not thinking on selling globally. Maybe some careers, big careers in the US, but you can understand each of the states as a home country. So it's more or less like being worldwide. Most of them are worldwide. Here we have something very specific in the travel industry, and a specific concept, something we sell or they sell, the airlines and also travel agencies, online travel agencies, that is the ticket. The ticket is something unique. Mixed with the ticket, we have the booking window concept. We have different stages. From the moment you book your flight, you have the contract, but you don't have the ticket. You have the right to fly, but you do not have the ticket bought. Then you have the payment moment. You buy the ticket, you pay, and at the end you have a more strict relations with the airline, and at the end you have the departure date when the account billing and all the revenue accounting systems in the airline enter in place. So this specific concept is related with the industry and with the processes, because in this time many things can happen with the ticket. You can have a cancellation of the flight, you can cancel your ticket, you can change your ticket, maybe the airline can go to the bankrupt, who knows. So this time frame, it's very interesting to understand how payments, and of course you could imagine how payments could be impacted in all the life of these tickets. So it's a kind of nightmare for our clients, and it's also our job to understand this life and to understand how the processes, how payments can help in order to fix the different issues in this process. Also, you can sell the ticket through different, in a multi-merchant mode. We have airlines that sell tickets by their own through the website. They can sell the tickets through a travel agency, on an online travel agency. They can distribute tickets through other different kind of actors like TMCs, travel merchant companies. We will see later on a couple of examples of each of the actors. And at the end, you can also sell the ticket in a lot of different channels, because you can sell it presently, you can sell it online, you can sell it in the airport, you can do a lot of things with the ticket, and all these things are very much linked with the payment. So it's very interesting to know all the different cases and how these cases impacts in the business. I'm not going to spend a lot of time speaking about the special IT services. We have an own regulator that is IATA. We have even specific schemes like UATP, and also specific currencies like miles. So imagine all these kind of things in the same box, check the box, and you will have a lot of problems trying to deploy payments and trying to giving your customers as much acceptance as possible, trying to solve the pay-in, pay-out. I like very much this concept, how they pay and how they get payments. This is a kind of a storm that we are in the middle. But it's enough. It's enough speaking about the industry as is. PSD2 is here. They know it's here. We know, all we know is here. And PSD2 is here to change the payments landscape in Europe. PSD2 is changing the business models. PSD2 is changing most of the things that are around our industry, because we have different topics our customers are worried about: surcharges, strong customer authentication. And we think, because we see the whole globe, we work, if you work in Amadeus, your office is the world. We are always traveling, and we are always visiting our customers worldwide. And we see the PSD2 results will affect or will impact or will influence in regulations, in different regulations worldwide in the coming years. So depending on how we are doing right now in Europe, maybe in the rest of the world, not PSD2 as is, but maybe different regulations will follow some of the indications we are now deploying in Europe. And a specific case, just to start speaking about travel. As you know, and as I mentioned, surcharge or commissions, it has a lot of names in the travel industry. It's called surcharge. It's a specific topic that they are very worried about. The regulations say that you cannot surcharge in a couple of in several products. But now the topic, because you are very used to, and I also, we are very used to listening about surcharges in the application mode. In what cars I can apply surcharge or not. But there is other dimension, is the time scale. The law was approved more or less in July last year and entered in force in January this year. And there is a time scale in bookings, for instance. Imagine you are a travel agency and you have bookings. Remember the concept of booking window. And you have bookings made before July last year with no payment. Maybe the reservation, maybe the 5% of the amount of your travel to Bora Bora or to Maldives of this summer. And the payment needs to be made, or to be made, the payment after January this year. In this case, the operator can surcharge you because it's out of the time scale. But imagine the opposite case. You do the booking, or you did the booking after July last year. And you have to do the booking, or you have to do the payments after January this year. So in this case, surcharges are not allowed, even if they surcharge you in the booking period, in the reservation. So it's something that applies, that we have now in our tables. Many travel agencies that, in the case of airlines, they take the money first. Airlines are a bit special. But in the case of agencies, they usually allow you to pay the big amount of the travel at the end, just a couple of weeks before you take the plane and go to Bora Bora, for instance. So this is a specific topic that impacts very much in the revenue accounts of our customers, in this case, in travel agencies and online travel agencies. But regulations sometimes have two phases. You intend to do something in order to, you are looking, looking for dream places. You are trying to harmonize the market, doing or transforming or trying to put rules in terms of harmonizing the market, in terms of prices in all the zone with these commissions, surcharges, and so on. You try to enhance competitions, opening new roles, opening the door to new entrants in order to take or to put in the arena people thinking out of the box, proposing new ideas, enhancing the customer experience. You also want to protect your customer, setting up rules, processes, strong customer authentication, trying to protect the final customer in this critical moment of the payment. And at the end, you are trying to lower prices. If you are the regulator, you have to do laws that are sexy for the voter, for the people who is electing you. So you have to have in mind the topic of lowering prices. But sometimes, if you are looking for a dream place, you have to cross a desert in between. And most of these things, in a specific industry like payments, most of these things can be a kind of nightmare, can impact in the business. If you try to harmonize the market, you can have impact on incomes with the surcharge ban. We will see 4 slides, one by one, in each of the points. So we have impacts on the incomes. If you want to what I said previously, oh, stops. What I did, stop. Payments. If you want to enhance competition, if you are opening the door to new players, you are increasing the complexity of the business. And somebody needs to absorb the cost of including more AMOPs, more alternative method of payments, more processes, more money. And in our world, liquidity, and in our world, cash, money is key when you are selling tickets and you are earning a low margin per ticket. This is a business of margin, and margins are very low. If you are trying to protect your customers, you will have operational costs, because more processes means more cost in terms of new processes, in terms of new systems, new things you have to develop, and also collateral effects in the go-to-market. We will see later on. So, for instance, impact on income, surcharge ban. One of the main incomes, one of the main revenues of the airlines was the surcharges. And this is clear. They have a lot of costs, fuel, airline leasing, or the crew and the people, a lot of costs. And in terms of earnings, they earn money with the tickets, and they also earned money with the surcharge, the commissions they apply to the tickets. And now with the regulations, you are telling them, you cannot surcharge. You cannot surcharge on electronic payments, maybe extend it to all the payments. You cannot get this money you took into account in the past. You have to drop it from your accounts, and now look for other kind of incomes. It's a problem. It's a problem because you can surcharge or you cannot surcharge on consumer cards, and you can surcharge on commercial cards. But here, the problem is that it's extremely, for them, it's extremely difficult to identify if it's a consumer, if it's a commercial. Of course, you can say we have a bin table. We can check if it's a consumer, commercial. But in some of the countries of the European Union, it depends. If you are using a commercial card, the individual settlement of the card can be in the name of the person, not in the name of the company, and surcharge is not allowed also. So for them, it's a nightmare. And at the end, if they have a lot of problems trying to identify the card and try to avoid any kind of penalties or frictions with the users that say, you should charge me and I'm using the commercial card, but this in my name is not a pure corporate card. In order to avoid these kind of things, the trend or the conclusion is that most of the actors in the industry, they are not going to surcharge anything. Maybe for a specific corporate cards, very well identified. Even for those cards, the airlines has private agreements in order not to surcharge this kind of cards. Maybe they could surcharge for specific channels, specific corporate cards. But at the end, the surcharges are going to be something that is going to be forbidden in the market. And we will see, I think, in the last slide, that they are thinking on how to reintroduce this income in their accounts. And in the other side, maybe the issuers, at the end, if you cannot, because this is a huge market, if you, in order to increase your acceptance, in order to offer more possibilities to your final customers, the airlines, the travel agencies, to accept your cards, maybe they will push or they will promote a kind of more corporate cards. Instead of giving you the American Express we have linked with my personal account, maybe with the issuers, will promote corporate cards linked to the corporate accounts. In Amadeus, we have corporate cards, but these cards are linked with my account. I'm taking the risk. Of course, we can do the settlement, we can do the expenses processes, but at the end, these kind of things can happen. Other topic, the business complexity. And this topic of the new airline scheme, I think we mentioned at the beginning. If you are opening the door to new entrants, if you are taking into account as a regulator these three-party schemes these third-party providers, you are giving them rights to access the accounts, even to launch payments in your name. In a couple of years, we could see Facebook and Amazon launching payments on behalf of us. Always having our accounts saved in the banks, but at the end they are here, or they're going to be here to compete with us. And this is a topic for the airlines that is very interesting, because all of these people, and also we, our regulator, and also a bank, a couple of days ago, they launched a new payment model for the airline industry. New idea, new for us, new method of payments. That also is a new complexity. And at the end, the airlines, they have this issue. If we have a lot of things to be implemented in our systems, I have to pay for all these things. And at the end, what we see in each of their customers, if we want to sell to an airline, they are always thinking first on saving costs, then I think first on saving costs, and then thinking on the user experience. And at the end, too many possibilities for them means too many things to do, cash to invest, money to spend, and it's something that needs to be also taken into account, this business complexity. Operational costs, protecting the customer, SCA, strong customer authentication. This is a happy ending story, but I like this story because it's something. It shows that the industry is listening in the regulations. When people is thinking on regulating the market, at the beginning, a strong customer authentication, this two-factor authentication was mandatory for all the transactions, but different lobbies at the end shown different problems in different industries. And in this case, the travel management companies, the TMCs, I think we could know BCD in UK, for instance, people of UK here, or American Express Corporate Services, corporate travel, is also this kind of companies that take your car and book in your name, in your company, flights, hotels, etc. for you. And they had this problem: how an agent of a TMC, how my agent can do the payments on behalf of you using this two-factor authentication? I cannot do it. I cannot do it because I do 1,000 bookings per day. It's a mess. I cannot manage the regulation. So at the end, an exemption was made for this kind of transactions, taking into account this kind of transactions, and also the virtual car payments. This is a topic that is separate of this speech. But it's something that can show you that the new processes, new ideas, whatever the reason, in this case is to protect the customer, means operational costs, means new processes, means new ways of doing things in a specific industry like travel that can be a nightmare for them. So something also interesting here. And at the end, the topic of, again, of the money, the pricing. They cannot surcharge. Airlines and travel agencies and most of these actors, they cannot surcharge, and they have to do something in order to recover this money. And the question is, what can we do? Absorb this topic, or pass the cost to the final user? There are different possibilities. One of them, for instance, could be to promote alternative method of payments instead of cards, instead of card payments, not with financial reasons, not with financial instruments, because it's not allowed, but maybe offering, we have seen, for instance, offering free parking in the airports, or access to VIP zones in the airport, or offering you free meals in the airplane. You know, kind of promoting alternative method of payments in order to avoid the payment with the card. Sometimes they think on, okay, if we cannot surcharge for the payment, let's include a kind of service fee. But if you include a service fee, you cannot reduce the service fee for a specific method of payments. You include the service fee for the range of tickets, or the range of services you are offering. So at the end, you increase the price of the whole ticket or the whole service. Or the final decision, that is increase the headline price and pass the cost to the final user, that we are flying every week or every day, and at the end we will have to pay this. Our perception is that prices will rise. Unfortunately, the regulator wanted at the beginning to low prices, but our perception in this kind of industry is that the prices will do the opposite. The price of the tickets will rise. We do not know right now in what percentage, but at the end, this impact will be the opposite than the regulator wanted. But this is not the end, and this is my final slide. This is not the end. We have things coming, and I wanted to show you that with examples, not speaking, this is why I told you it's challenging for me, not speaking about payments, speaking only about travel industry. And now the next nightmare is GDPR. It's going to be in place end of this month, and all our customers are asking us about GDPR. Maybe they have forgotten the PSD2, but now they are very worried about this topic. They want to know what is the mix between third-party providers, the content, the consent, the data they are going to share, if it's covering GDPR or not. At the end, is other topic, other history. I think it's out of this speech, but this is what I wanted to show you, that we are here to understand the customer, our customer needs. We are here to understand the industry, because it's not about selling payments. It's not about selling, issuing, and acquiring, and all the words I was used to use in my past. Maybe somebody from Worldline, it was my former company. I think it's in the room. This is not about selling payments, about selling pure technique. In travel industry, you have to understand very well first the industry. You have to understand very well how processes or how payments are mixed with the processes of the industry, the business, and at the end propose them ideas in order to follow their expectations, their needs. First, reducing costs, as I said, then trying to enhance the customer experience. So this is it. Thank you.